Yo, I'm back. In this one, I take out an old digital camera I found from the late 2000s when I was younger. I wasn't too sure about this shoot going into it. This little camera screen is like impossibly low res, and it is only 8 megapixels. So I didn't have super high hopes, and I was worried that I wasn't going to have much of a video at the end of this. But a lot of these pictures surprised me. You know, the technical specs of the glass on the camera probably isn't great, and that impacted a lot of these photos, as you'll see. These are all straight out of camera. I didn't do any like color correction or anything like that to any of these. I did minor crops, maybe a couple touches to exposure here and there, but very, very minimal. So yeah, let's see what we can get into. I really like this one. This is what I meant by being surprised initially. There are some other ones later that get a lot better in my opinion, but this felt like a really nice opening shot, you know? I think what drew me to photograph this corner is all of the dandelions. It's just kind of overrun this yard, and it's just really lush, and there was a bunch of that there. So I hoped that those dandelions would pop out as much as they did, you know, to my eye when being there, or in my mind's eye. And I think it did. I think if I were to edit this, I would color correct it in a way that, you know, I'd make those yellows come through a little bit more than they are here. But I don't think that's the point. I think one of the things I wanted to do, or a primary objective when going out and shooting, is letting the camera just speak for itself. So I like this 2000s kind of muted look that it's giving. It looks kind of cool. Let's get on to the next ones. Like I say in most of my videos, this photo was low on the scale for me today, or on this day of shooting. The baby blue stood out the most to me, and normally I would capitalize on that and kind of make that color pop a bit more with my X100V. But I was at the mercy of the auto for this, old Olympus digital camera. So it muted the blues in this scenario, so it doesn't stand out quite as much. So just not a super interesting photo, kind of boring. This one, though, not quite as boring as the last one. Of course, color's always capturing my eye as a photographer, as I assume it does with a lot of, street photographers. But all of the pink flower petals all over the place is really cool here. I specifically like the fact that they're kind of sprinkled on top of the car there to the right as well, which once again I would have attempted to highlight a bit more in normal circumstances, but with this camera, this is what we got. And I don't hate this one. I think this one's cool. I like going back in residential areas like this because there's these little pockets of culture like this. I didn't intend, or I I didn't have it in mind when taking this picture, but the front porch of this house is like super cluttered, which adds, a bit of character in some way when contrasted with these beautiful pink flower petals scattered about. I'm happy with this. Obviously, the thing that stands out the most is the My Princess. That's what I was focusing on when snapping this one. But I like the way that this one's composed. It feels a bit balanced, at least on the bottom side of the photo. This truck is kind of nestled in between these viney green plants running up the fence. And that made it work for me. It's almost like sitting in that pocket on the fence there. I was happy with this one for sure. This one's cool. Just to be completely transparent, this is not the same neighborhood. I actually jumped in my car and went to a new area that I haven't wandered around in, just because I felt like the inspiration kind of flattened out in the other area I was in, and it also was a really small neighborhood. But upon entering this area, I see this perfect little scene for me to get my inspiration rolling. And yeah, I snapped a few of this really cool red old worn Mustang, which you're gonna see here in a few moments. This one's way at the top of the list for me when shooting on this day. This one's just got a bunch of elements that I like. It feels very balanced. For some reason, there's always power lines running through the photos that I do like. I think the reason for that is because I like that it gives it almost like a balance, like a forced balance with perfectly straight lines. But anyway, that looks nice. And then the red Mustang, just this old red Mustang sitting in the corner here, it just all really worked for me. So I was happy to see this almost immediately entering this neighborhood. So very, very happy with this one. Very cool shot. When I'm normally shooting with my Fujifilm, scenes like this catch my eye, and that's the reason why I stopped and grabbed this one with the Olympus. That strong beam of light shooting through the trees and hitting the porch and the top of the bushes just really looked great in person. And this is another one of those scenes where I wish it wasn't quite as bright or overexposed. I would have been able to put more emphasis on that using my X100V. But that's okay. It's situations like this that are allowing me to think about my craft or my process a bit more and improve on it. So I still think this shot works. It's still got this cool, overexposed 2000s feel to it, and yeah, I'm glad to have it. This is another one that I was really happy with. I love it when I'm able to capture people doing things, in their day to day. I know I've mentioned that in previous episodes, and I'll probably continue to mention it. But Yeah, this one was especially cool because these guys are, actively doing some sort of construction on the other side of this road, and that with the backdrop of the water tower and then this big construction equipment on the left, this one felt super balanced. It was a nice scene. This one kind of checks a lot of the boxes for me when I'm out shooting, at least the subconscious boxes that make these work for me. So yeah, very, very happy with this one. After taking a shot of that really strange-looking tree, I do one of my first drive-by shots for the day. I just kind of take this at like mostly just above my hip without seeing what I'm shooting, which you will see now. This one I like and then I don't like. And I think the reason that I like it so much is that it turned out better than I thought it would, because I just blind fired this, street photography style, just above the hip, general angle that I think would make it work, and took it. And it's hard photographing residential areas like this because they're obviously usually pretty private. And if anyone's out and about in their yard or something like that, and you stand out in any way, it's hard to take these kind of, on the fly shots. So I still want to do it because once again, it's a part of this whole slice of life thing that I always like doing in my photos. People just living their lives in these residential areas, and just when people are out doing things in their yard or gardening, things like that, I try to capture it, as quickly as I can. So that's something that I'm working on too, is being comfortable without making these shots perfect. And this one's definitely not perfect by any means, but I think because of that, it adds a bit of character. Well, that's a lot of purple that I feel like I need to try to capture. I don't know if I can on this little camera, but this one was also a drive-by shot. If you notice there, I kind of did the whole to my side, take a shot, hope for the best type of thing. And this one is good. I saw these kids playing in the yard just before getting into this area, of course, just across the street, and I assume that's their dad. This plays back to what I mentioned just a moment ago about taking photos in residential areas. Because they're so private usually and intimate, someone walking around taking photos in this capacity can be maybe perceived as being weird or creepy, especially if there's kids around. So I'm hyper aware of that, I think. For good or for bad, I don't know. But I'd rather not like bother anyone or give anyone that energy or that vibe. So I want to do it as secretly as possible to avoid it. So I grabbed this one just walking by, and this is one of the ones that I had to crop a bit. It wasn't this straight. I would have been amazed if it was initially. So I straightened it out a bit and then just slightly cropped in just a tiny bit. This is a good example of how I talk about wanting to include subjects a bit closer. I wish they were a bit closer to capture a little bit more of that action, but it's still fun to practice these shots, and I'm glad that I have, subjects like this without, knowing who they are on the fly. I was quite pleased with the results.
Saw you walking down that hill, head high and shoulders back. Watching you was such a thrill. All that I could do was laugh. I couldn't hold it back. I couldn't hold it. I couldn't hold it back. We were running on that open shore. No saddle on his back. I had never felt so free before. All that I could do was laugh. I couldn't hold it back. I couldn't hold it. I couldn't hold it back. I couldn't hold it back. I couldn't hold it. I couldn't hold it back. There I lay beneath the canopy.
I was most pleased with this one aesthetically compared to all the other ones. This one's color just was really perfect for me. The theme of red is really nice. It's got a nice pop of red. And once again, the grass and the yellow dandelions kind of sprinkled across the yard. It just feels super balanced, and I like that about this one a lot. Without having to do any color correction or anything at all with this one, I was super happy with it. I don't know how much I would even do if I did. Super happy with this. At this moment, I decide to use the zoom on this camera for the first time as I notice a dog in the window to my right. In a recent shoot, I completely skipped over taking a picture of a dog in a window like this out of nervousness. This one, I grabbed it and I got this. I love this picture. I love that there is an old golden retriever, which is what it looks like, just hanging out in the window, both paws on either side of his face. This one was great. I'm so glad that I said it's fine. Even if someone sees me taking a picture, I have a perfectly good explanation as to why I'm doing it. I'm not doing anything weird. There's just a cute dog. And that's it. So I'm glad that I got this. I'm so happy with it. There's this kind of like cool effect that I didn't, anticipate at all in the reflection of the window that the dog's in. It's just like kind of cool, 2000s music video, like zoom effect to it with that tree that's reflecting off of it that makes this look really cool to me. It adds some extra element, kind of pulling your eyes to that area. Top tier for me. Top tier photo for the day. Very happy with this. Yeah.